What does it take to change the world? This is a question I ask myself every single day. It is my passion, and it is my obsession. It's something I've been thinking about for quite a while. When I was a kid, I would read books about atrocities happening all over the world. I would read stories about kids my age facing hardship and challenge I couldn't even fathom, I couldn't understand. My family and friends thought I was morbid, but really, in these stories, I found hope. Because in these stories, there was an example of an individual or a group of individuals that stepped up in the face of injustice in order to prevent it, and in doing so, changed the trajectory of another person's life for the better. I was inspired by these people. I wanted to be one of them. I wanted to be a hero like them. I carried this inspiration with me to high school. And when I came across an opportunity to volunteer in Ghana for 2 weeks, I thought to myself, here's my chance to be a hero. You see, I came of age in the time of Tom's Shoes and Invisible Children. And I really thought that saving someone's life was as simple as buying a pair of shoes or putting Joseph Kony posters up around my hometown. And this was the mindset that I took with me to Ghana. Now, I had an amazing time on this trip. I got to dance to new music, although horribly. I got to eat new foods. I still crave sugarcane, and meet amazing new people. I was in an environment so dramatically different from my own that I was forced to learn a great deal about myself. But about a week into this trip, my hero bubble burst. I was looking around our service project. We had been painting and plastering a classroom building in preparation for the local school to use. I was looking around that morning, and I suddenly realized we were really bad at painting and plastering. The organization we were serving there with had even hired Ghanaian men to fix our mistakes, and I wondered, why didn't they hire them to do this in the first place? We were all high school students from the United States and Europe, and we had no experience in this work. I wondered, was this trip really about the difference we were there claiming to make? Or was this trip about our own personal transformations? And while I was grateful for that transformation, it wasn't why I was there. I started doing a little bit of math in my head, adding up the plane tickets, housing, the cost of us visiting different sites around the country. I started wondering, what if, instead of paying to be there, we had directly invested those funds in this project? How much better would these classrooms look? How many more of them could we have built? And most importantly, how many more kids could have had a nice place to learn? And it was in this moment, confronted with what felt very much like the wrong way to make a difference, that I set out to see if there was a right way. How exactly do we change the world? This became my mission. It was my mission when I entered the university. And this mission carried me into an amazing student-driven organization designed to support students in service and social entrepreneurship. And I fell in love with this community of like-minded students, so much so that I became the student director. And in this position, I was able to work with my peers who had ideas that they believed were solutions to local and global problems. These students were passionate, they were motivated by purpose, they had access to the seemingly unlimited knowledge of our institution, and they had the university's resources backing them. These students, many would reach their objectives, but at the end of the day, very few could actually measure the impact they set out to achieve. This time, seeing this frustration, I was frustrated, they were frustrated, my mission inspired me to study. I started studying, researching, how does my school and other schools around our country prepare students to be agents of change in the community? And what I found was pretty interesting. I found two distinct sides of the story. Community engagement, where students often participate in service learning programs, they immerse themselves in the community, they work in nonprofit organizations, learning about the problems faced, and learning about the strategy used to address them. and social entrepreneurship, where students are encouraged to ideate from the start. They're encouraged to build implementable and sustainable business models around these ideas to not only address the problems we face today, but prevent them from happening in the future. Now, you might be thinking to yourselves, what a complementary pair of methodologies. They should work together, right? They should come together to provide for students the entire spectrum of skills and tools needed to embark on an impactful change-making career. But unfortunately, I was only able to find a handful of examples of this happening. Instead of recognizing each other's value and each other's potential, these two sides only saw weakness. Community engagement points at social entrepreneurship and says, if you aren't in the community learning about the problems, how do you know that your solution will work? And more importantly, when it fails, who is going to be there to pick up the pieces? Well, social entrepreneurship points back and says, yes, but you've been in the community for decades. And what has changed? If you walked away today, would the problem still exist? Would the community you serve be back where they started? In failing to leverage each other's strengths, these two sides miss out on great opportunity. My time in Ghana did not end with my dissatisfaction at the service project. Really, it began there. I came back to Arizona after that trip and began importing handmade purses made by a Ghanaian female entrepreneur in the community that hosted me, selling them here in Arizona for a profit and returning those profits to my host community in the form of scholarships for 4 children through their high school educations. Our youngest has 15 years left to go. But as I was learning about social entrepreneurship, community engagement, I was watching my peers struggle and learning from their mistakes, I'd get a sinking feeling in my stomach. I started to realize that perhaps I didn't know enough about the problem I was trying to solve. I didn't really do enough research. Maybe paying school fees wasn't actually enough to ensure a bright future for these kids. So I returned to Ghana to evaluate. And it was as I suspected. Yes, they were in school. No, they didn't have everything they needed. I recruited 3 Ghanaian university students from She University. These students are bright, they're motivated, they have a commitment to giving back to their country. They've gone through the Ghanaian education system, and they've navigated some of the same challenges our scholarship recipients navigate. These students have established a mentorship program where they regularly visit the kids, and in doing so, have accomplished more in 1 year than I could alone in 4. I started today asking you, what does it take to change the world? Well, there is no answer to this question. There's no formula for impact. The progress of my project in Ghana was not due to me being some sort of remarkable person that tapped into the secret sauce of change-making. It was due to my ability to set aside my hero complex, to look past the simple solution, to learn from my peers, learn from the various approaches and the mistakes and successes, to leverage the benefits of both community engagement and social entrepreneurship. Change-making is hard, and it requires resilience. It thrives on listening, learning, and humility. It demands innovation and risk-taking. But it is only in embracing these complexities in all of our work that together we can get a little bit closer to changing the world. Thank you.